Lethal Weapon is a side-scrolling action game loosely based on the popular movie series. You can switch between rigs and Molotov, each offering slightly different abilities, adding some variety to the gameplay. The level design is tricky, filled with enemies requiring precision and patience to progress. Unfortunately, the controls, especially during the jumps, can leave frustration, of course, and some cheap deaths. On the brighter side, the visuals do a fair job of captivating the gritty atmosphere of the film, and the upbeat soundtrack keeps the action lively. Even if it loops quickly, it's a tough game that rewards memorization more than reflexes. Overall, Lethal Weapon on the NES is a challenging and decent adaptation that will mainly appeal to the hardcore retro gamers out there. So I think so this game goes solid B on my list. Mighty Final Fight is impressive chibi-style spin of the Capcom classic beat-em up. Despite the NES limitations, the game delivers smooth controls and responsive combat. Each of these three characters, Hager, Cody, and Guy, has unique moves and personality. The RPG leveling system adds depth rarely seen on the 8-bit brawlers. Stages are colorful, detailed, and packed with varied enemies. And the music sounds like, of course, a little bit of Mega Man-ish mix, I would say. It's a short game, but every level feels tightly designed and satisfying. Overall, Mighty Final Fight stand out as one of the best beat-em-ups on the NES Classic. The NES, of course, the Nintendo Entertainment System. This game goes solid freaking A on my list. Solid freaking A. Nekketsu Kōha Kunio-kun is the game that started as a legendary Kunio series known for its over-the-top street fighting action. It blends beat-em-up gameplay with schoolyard brawlers, giving it to the unique Japanese flair. The combat feels super solid with punches, kicks, and even weapon attacks adding a variety. Characters' animations are expressive, capturing the humor and spirit of Kunio perfectly. The city backgrounds and the enemy designs give the game a gritty, nostalgic vibe. It's a challenge, but it's fair, encouraging skill and timing rather than button smashing. The catchy chiptune soundtrack adds energy to every freaking fight. Overall, Nekketsu Kōha Kunio-kun is a fun, stylish classic brawler that laid the foundation of many great games to come. Of course, solid freaking B on my list. Phantom Fighter on the NES is a side-scrolling action game that combines martial art combat with supernatural elements. Players face off against hordes and ghosts, ninjas, and other eerie enemies across varied urban and mystical environments. The controls are fairly responsive, allowing for combos, jumps, and special moves. Though some levels can be repetitive, the graphics are colorful and detailed on the NES title, giving each stage a distinct atmosphere. The soundtrack is catchy, though looping tracks can become tiring over time, but I think so the boss battles are challenging and require some pattern recognition to defeat. The game's difficulty curve keeps the player engaged, but it can be very unforgiving for the newcomers. Overall, Phantom Fighter is a solid, entertaining NES action game that blends martial arts with spooky fun. Solid freaking B on my list. Renegade on the NES is a classic side-scrolling beat-em-up that sets standards for many 8-bit brawlers to follow. Players take control of top Street Fighter battling gangs across urban environments. The combat is simple but satisfying, with punches, kicks, grabs offering solid variety of the moves. Enemy patterns are challenging, requiring timing and strategy rather than button smashing. The graphics are functional, capturing the gritty cities, streets, and gang members effectively. The soundtrack of this game is energetic, adding tension to each fight. Some levels can be repetitive, but escalating difficulty keeps the player more engaged. Overall, Renegade is a foundational NES beat 'em up that is still enjoyable for the retro gaming fans out there. This game goes solid B on my list. Solid freaking B. RoboCop is a side-scrolling action game that faithfully adapts 1987 movie into the 8-bit form. Players control RoboCop through crime-ridden streets, taking down thugs and criminals with his rusty Auto 9. The controls are responsive, and some of the platforming sections can be stiff and frustrating. Enemies variety is decent, with both street gangs and robotic foes, keeping the action engaging. Graphics are solid for the NES title, capturing the dark, urban atmosphere of Detroit. The soundtrack is catchy, though it's repetitive, adding the tense mood of the game. Difficulty spikes can be challenging, rewarding memorization and careful play. Overall, RoboCop on the NES is a title that enjoys action game for the fans of the film and retro shooters alike. Solid freaking B on my list. Sakigake Otokojuku Shippi Ichi Gosai on the NES. I mean, look, damn, that big ass name. Is a quirky beat 'em up based on the popular manga series, filled with over-the-top martial arts action. Players can control students of Otokojuku as they fight through the exaggerated humorous enemies in schoolyard and tournament settings. The combat system offers a mix of punches, kicks, and special moves, capturing the manga's dramatic flair. Character sprites are expressive, reflecting the series' unique art style and comedic tone. Levels are varied through some can feel repetitive after extended play. The music is super energetic and complements the fast-paced chaotic battles. Difficulty is steep, requiring practice and strategy to overcome tougher opponents. Overall, it's a fun niche title that appeals to the fan of Japanese manga classics, and I think so this game deserves solid B on my list. Solid freaking B. Here we go, talking about Sparten X on the NES is a sequel to the classic beat 'em up Sparten X, also known as Kung Fu. You know, Kung Fu. This game is also known as Kung Fu 2, I guess, on the American title. Players control a martial arts hero battling waves of enemies through urban exotic levels. Combat is straightforward but satisfying, with punches, kicks, and special moves to keep the fights engaging. By the way, I may be wrong if this game ever released in America. Just correct me if you're listening to me. The enemy designs are varied, including thugs, ninjas, and larger boss characters. Graphics are colorful and detailed for the NES, though some animations can be stiff, but the soundtrack is really energetic, adding excitement to each level. Difficulty ramps up steadily, rewarding memorization and timing over the button smashing. I think so overall, the Sparten X2 is a solid NES action game that improvises on its predecessor while offering challenging, fun gameplay. Solid freaking A, I would give this game. Street Cop on the NES is a unique action-adventure game that puts players into the shoes of city police officer. The game blends combat, strategy, and crime evolving as you patrol the streets and tackle criminal activities. Combats are functional, though the movement can feel a bit stiff during the intense action sequences. The graphics are simple, but yet effective, capturing a gritty urban atmosphere. The soundtrack is minimal but fits the game tense, street-level vibe. Missions are varied, ranging from the chasing thieves to rescue civilians, keeping the gameplay interesting. Difficulty can spike unexpectedly, requiring patience and strategy to progress. Overall, Street Cop is an underrated NES title that requires some accessories, I guess, probably. I think so this game deserves solid B. on my list. And the Target Renegade is the action-packed side-scrolling beat-em-up that serves as a follow-up to the original Renegade title. Players fight through gangs and street thugs using punches, kicks, and grabs, with increasingly challenging enemy ways. The controls are solid and responsive, making the combat feel satisfying despite the NES limitations. Levels are well designed, with the urban backdrop and varied environments adding a visual interest. The soundtrack is energetic, through repetitive, keeping the pace of the action high. Boss fights are tough and require memorization of attack patterns. Difficulty ramps up steadily, proving a fair but a challenging experience. Overall, Target Renegade is a worthy NES brawler that improves on the original title while keeping the player engaged. Solid freaking be on my list. So that's it from my side, guys. If you really like this video, then do not forget to hit that like button over there. If you really made this far, do not forget to hit that subscribe button, of course, and keep on gaming and keep on loving the NES, I would say. Yeah. Bye 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 bye. Take care.